What is up, everybody? This is the Draco Meteorologist here, coming with you for the Twin Leaf Premier League, entering in our Week 2 matchup. Spoilers for our last week's matchup in 3, 2, 1. We ended up taking a 2-0 dub, so that's always really nice to start off the season with a win. However, going through the schedule, or I should say the standings, only one week in, we're actually tied for 7th place. So even with that 2-0 victory, we were tied for basically the worst win. A little disappointing, but that's all right. I know I played a little bit passive, especially towards the end, to make sure that I got the guaranteed win instead of maybe going for a little bit more aggressive 90% chance moves that are going to hit. I know Chien-Pao probably could have just finished with like hitting Ice Crash on everybody, but that's okay. So going into this upcoming week, obviously we want to keep the matchup in our favor. Going to 0 would be awesome. Let's take a look who we play against. So week 2 we are playing against the Caribbean Chicharrons. Honestly, don't know what the team is, like as in what Chicharron is. I thought that was the Pokemon, but I was mistaken. I did not play that generation. I apologize. So, as we can see, we've got Sneasler, Zapdos, Slowking, Hisuian Arcanine, Donphan, Zarude, Bronzong, Arboliva, Florges, and Tauros. Overall, I think this is an alright team. I think my team is overall better. However, they do have some pretty good threats that I think are pretty strong into my team. Seems a little bit physically attacking bias, right? Their main special attackers are a little bit lower tier points, right? Zapdos can be a special attacker, but I think his physical defense is going to be quite needed into my team. Slowking, very slow, typically not a very good special attacker, or one that you have as an aggressive one. Bronzong, Arboliva, Florges, all of those are fine. Bronzong without Terra, I think, is significantly worse, especially with my team that has two dark types that really hit it super effectively and a strong fire type, so don't think that'll be coming. Arboliva, I could potentially see. Then Florges is the last one that I think is possible. But I'll kind of quickly go through each Pokemon and my thoughts in the prep room. For Sneasler, doesn't look too great, honestly. Obviously, Sneasler can do a whole bunch of damage. The speed tier is one of the few things that's going to be able to outspeed my Chien-Pao this season with that Unburden. However, I have some pretty good defensive checks, such as Gliscor and Okidogi, that really kind of hit those moves pretty well. So I'm kind of interested in the set. I could see more of like a Dire Claw, maybe like a Scarf to kind of keep my Cinderace as well as Chien-Pao a little bit more respected, right? So I think it's okay, but I think my defensive checks are pretty good into it. We got Zapdos, who's just fantastic in the speed tier coverage, as in making sure that I get staticked off. So I think that's going to be physically defensive, making sure that I don't get U-turns and flip turns for free trying to get those static procs off. I think it's going to be pretty strong. Slowking I don't really see coming. It's possible, again, it being weak to a lot of my Pokemon and not really having strong special defense strong special attackers either, and the one I do have has, Dark Stab immediately, so I don't see this coming. Hisuian Arcanine I think is really scary. Fire and Rock into my team is terrifying. I don't exactly know what set. I think Scarf is probably going to be the best, but also just with the wall breaking ability of like a Choice Band set, I could see that happening. It's definitely going to be more aggressive. I think the Intim, especially with my guard dog Okidogi, is not going to be that great. Donphan, honestly, in the mock rooms, was kind of putting out some pressure on my team. I don't quick sneak peek for Iron Jugulus. That'd be my one special attacker. Don't think it's going to be brought in too much into Donphan, so I think that was pretty strong. I'm expecting that Pokemon. Zarude, same thing. I think I have too many U-turns, strong fire moves. The speed tier is kind of bad into my team. Like the 105, I have my good Pokemon that outspeed it and hit it super effectively. Don't really foresee this thing coming. Same thing with Bronzong. As I said a little bit earlier when I talked about it, Arboliva could. I think that Pokemon's relatively strong, but I think the next two Pokemon are a little bit better. Florges is going to be that main check, in my opinion, to Iron Jugulus. Like a Terra Blast, Terra Poison is not two-shotting this thing, so Florges can kind of sit in front of it for a really long time. I view that as its main check. And then Tauros, I think, is pretty strong into my team as well. I really only have one normal resist, and then I have the immunity and Decidueye. But otherwise, having that dark coverage with Terra Blast kind of really helps with Decidueye, and you have high horsepower for Tinkaton, and I can't really box that thing back. So I think Tauros is strong. So the six I'm kind of expecting are going to be that Sneasler, Zapdos, uh, Hisuian Arcanine, Donphan, then Florges, and Tauros. So let's see what I have made. So for this week, a Chanpal's not showing up again. Maybe soon it comes up here. Let's take a look. We seeing it now? Yes, perfect. All right. Apologies. For this week, I have Chanpao, who's going to be Jolly with a Sword of Ruin and a Life Orb. Very similar to my set last week. I'm basically making sure that I outspeed everything on his team that's unboosted. I have Icicle Crash Crunch that's going to basically hit his entire team for super effective damage, minus like a Terra on your Tauros. So that's what I have Sacred Sword for. And then Sucker Punch just in case something is scarfed, like I'm expecting the Hisuian Arcanine to be scarfed. Once I get a couple chip, potentially Rock Chip and things like that, should be able to take that out with a Sucker Punch boosted Life Orb. So this thing's going to be, again, just clicking buttons, being relatively strong, things that it does best. For our next Pokemon here, we have Gliscor. Gliscor is going to be playing a little bit more of a making sure that we get the hazards up this time. We have Knockoff, Earthquake, and U-Turn for our other three moves. This is going to be our dedicated Zapdos switch-in. So you can see my EVs are 244 in HP, 96 in defense, and then 168. Yeah, 168 in special defense. Almost thought it was 160. That's going to make sure that I can take Hurricanes. I can take two of them, assuming that they land two Hurricanes in a row. Hopefully I don't get confused. I should be able to get a slow U-turn off or potentially even knock off its boots to make sure that it continues to get Hazard Chip. That's going to be really strong. So the Earthquake is for the... I can still bring this in some of his defensive Pokemon or offensive physical threats. So Earthquake just kind of my main stab move, especially for that like Sneasler, for example. Next, we have our Cinderace. Again, relatively similar set to last time. I was switching this around. Originally, I had Boots as well as Court Change on this thing. However, I was kind of getting smacked by some Choice Scarf users, and I would like to have one back to make sure that I can get over that Hisuian Arcanine as well as Tauros, who are the main two things. So I have enough speed EVs to make sure that I do that. I am having to run Jolly this week with the normal Libero ability and that Choice Scarf. Pyro Ball hits pretty well into his entire team. That's going to be, once Hisuian Arcanine is down, basically free, unless Slowking comes, which, again, I don't think it will. Iron Head, U-Turn, and High Jump Kick as for your normal, coverage moves. High Jump Kick is going to be for that Hisuian Arcanine, as well as the Tauros, who I think is either going to be Terra Normal or Terra Dark, so that'll be really nice. Doesn't have any Ghost types, so while Choice Scarf plus High Jump Kick is a little scary, the damage that I got here was better and made sure that I one-shot those types of Pokemon. Iron Head for a Florges, and then U-Turn just to keep momentum up. Next, we have our Terra Captain, Iron Jugulis, who will be Terra Poison this week. We're running a Timid Nature with Cork Drive and Booster Energy. So we're doing Booster Speed instead of Booster Special Attack compared to last week. So I mentioned Florges being my assumption of who's going to come in and make sure that they can threaten this thing. And I have Workup. I learned during the prep room that I actually do have a boosting move for my special attack and physical attack. I was even thinking of getting like Iron Head on this guy and maybe doing a mix set, but I thought the Terra Poison Terra Blast was a little bit better overall into his team. So if I get +1, even a max special defensive Florges, if they do have Assault Vest, then they can't synth up. That's going to be two-shotting with a +1 Terra Blast. I don't take too much damage from like their following Psychic, unless they're relatively invested, and I should still live one from most sets, or almost all sets. I think the only one I won't is like a modest Choice Specs, and at that point I'll be very close to just one-shotting it anyways. So that's Iron Jugulis' main role basically, is it's going to be that special attacking breaker. The booster speed is another way where I can get over who I think is the more likely scarf for that Hisuian Arcanine speed. And this can be just that late game sweeper. Once I get kind of +1 on my special attack, I get that booster speed. I'm outspeeding almost everything. I'm hitting it very well with +1. And then Dark Pulse, Earth Power, and Terra Poison, Terra Blast are just kind of hitting the entire team for neutral, or most of them super effective damage. So Next, we've got Okidogi running a relatively similar set compared to last year, but last week, but this time I have a lot more speed investment. So I thought he had a lot of physical attackers. So running something like a bulk up physical defensive set with Drain Punch, Gunk Shot, and Psychic Fangs is going to be really nice. Again, I think the only special attackers that he might bring would be that Florgus. Maybe Slow King. Slow King I'd be kind of surprised about. So that's why I don't really have good coverage into Slow King. But I can run that bulk up. Drain Punch, Gunk Shot, Psychic Fangs is basically going to hit everything super well. This can check almost all of his physical defense or physical attackers. Donphan, I would like to be +1, but like a non-invested Donphan is only doing like 35% to me with Earthquake if I'm at +1 defense. So I should be able to heal about half of that back with Drain Punch and do a lot of damage back to him as well. But again, I don't think Donphan's going to be that main check for Okidogi. Guard Dog is nice because he does have 2 Intimidate users. I don't think he's going to run it. I think it's going to be Sheer Force on Tauros or the Rockhead on Hisuian Arcanine. But if he does, maybe I can get a free +1. And I don't get like I can't be phased out either, which is nice for a bulk up set. Thought it was a little bit better than the Toxic Chain where I wasn't really going to be clicking buttons for longevity on people like I was last week. So making sure that I have, something that makes take advantage of some of his abilities is nice. And finally, we've got Big Man Blastoise. So he actually brought the same 6 as last week. I think they were just very strong into this team as well. Blastoise is going to be doing a similar role, and basically a role that he'll probably be doing every single week, except for maybe one time that I bring the Shell Smash, but we'll see. We've got a physical defensive nature. This is going to be my main Donphan switch in. So Donphan was kind of working me a little bit. I didn't have a lot to get good chip damage, and then Earthquake wasn't really, a stab Earthquake even with 0 investment was doing a decent amount into majority of my team. So I wanted to have Blastoise. It was between this Tinkaton and then Decidueye. I thought Blastoise was just the most consistent, being able to hit a nice Surf, Flip Turn, Rapid Spin, and then Roar just to phase out something that might set up. If something that I didn't really prep for, this thing will be living basically every single hit. The only thing that really threatens it would be that Zapdos landing. Like most likely, I think like a Discharge is probably its most likely bring. Really getting paras on my team is strong. So, but yeah, I'll be basically click and flip turn and rapid spin majority of the time. If I think Donphan's gonna stay in, Surf is gonna do like 70% to 80% if he's max HP with no special defense investment. So it's always gonna be a 2-hit KO if he's max special defense for whatever reason. But there you go. That is the 6 that I'm bringing this week. I am excited again for this upcoming matchup. I play in about 30 minutes, but still nervous. I hope that I can continue the success that I had off of last week. Start off strong with a nice 2-0 victory. But I will be seeing you guys soon. Alrighty. About to start our matchup here, week 2. Alright. I'm extremely surprised. I didn't expect like any of this. A lot of grass types. He's so weak to fire. Scarf Pyro Ball goes kind of hard. I think this is still the dedicated lead. Let's check the Terras on Grass, Fairy, Water on Arb. So I'll be able to hit everything but Water super effectively, which should be okay. Could roar it out. I do a good amount of damage still. We'll see. His most likely lead is probably this Donphan. Bronzong. I don't know if you get ice coverage. You'd get Ice Spinner. Very possible. I outspeed it every time. I think I'm just going to U-turn here. We'll see what he does here. Trick Room. Okay. I know he gets Thunderbolt. Interesting. I think I just gotta click surf and get some damage on this. Yep, alright, that's fair. Uh, I'm honestly really lost here. The Trick Room is really nice. I'm probably getting slammed with a grass move here. Grass, normal. I really don't like this at all. Alright, let's get the Toxic Orb going here. Terra Water, Terra Blast, you're nuts. You got me. That's for sure. Alright, I'm just getting absolutely cooked. Absolutely cooked. Absolutely cooked. Alright, how do I get out of this? I don't know if I do. I do not know if I do. Giga Drain's pretty free. I can potentially just get a nice Drain Punch on this guy. I think I kind of have to click a slow flip turn now. Grassy Terrain's still out there. I feel like I need to call something like this Zapdos coming in, right? That makes sense. So I'm going to bulk up here. Expecting Zapdos. If I can get rid of that, that's really nice. Okay. I think I've got to land this gunk. I would assume I'm faster. I'm not. That's okay. Copa Berry. Holy shit. Oh, God. Insane. Landed and got the confusion. That kind of sucks. I'm not going to deny that. It is a fast Zapdos. This thing going down. And that. I don't really have options right now. Other than hoping he misses something, right? Like, I just, yeah. I don't think that mattered. I think I just go for a crash here. Okay. I mean, this guy's gonna hurt. I feel like I just need to click on him realistically. I need the damage. Holy fuck. That did no damage. Literally none. Do I like play for a flinch into crunch? I feel like I have to do that. Flinch, 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 flinch. Nothing. Crazy. I've been cooked. Absolutely cooked. Yeah, Terra Water Arb was definitely great. I think I just need to go for the flinch again. Terra Blast. Fire move goes good into all this. Alright. Terra Poison, I mean, I've got to like somehow sweep, which I think is like not allowed. With Donphan being alive, I would need to go for like a Dark Pulse flinch or something like that. Wow. Rough. He's probably looking at like a Kelk and seeing that Thunderbolt doesn't actually kill him. Yeah, this guy is basically max defense because of how much or how little my crunch did. So this guy's not doing any damage. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm unsure what he's thinking here. Probably like, how do I make sure I don't lose the game? Because right now, Sneasel outspeeds me for everything. Should be able to kill Gliscor too. Alright, I need to go for flinches. Get a flinch! Get a flinch! Nice. Dead. That's big. Big for the diff, at least. I'm also getting a little bit of health back. Yep, this guy is just going to click Earthquake, which is fine. This works. How important are rocks, or do I just need to make sure that I kill this sturdy? Like, I know he's clicking Ice Spinner, right? So... Oh, that's fine. Let's see if I can get a crit or something. Because I'm kind of boned here. The Gliscor knock into Donphan did about 13. Defensive knock off 11 to 13. That seems about right. So if I go into Jug, yeah, Dark Pulse is not killing. Cinderace, high jump cakes, not even close. Could try the high jump kick. I'll at least be able to hit it twice. Again, I think I'm just boned to this Sneasler plus Arboliva combo. So I'll do that. He's just gonna click Earthquake in front of my face. Crit. It's pretty nice. Click it again. Helping the diff. This is nice. Okay. I mean, there's a chance. Not a good one, but there's a chance. Flinch, 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 flinch. Oh, okay. Should outspeed. Should be able to kill me. I'd be really, yeah, it's just Acrobats last here, so. Yep, that's fine. Alright. Alright, well, 2-0 loss. Puts us literally even 1-1, 0-0, or yeah, for diff. Definitely disappointing. I did not prep for like any of this stuff. Trick Room was a really good start. The Arboliva like absolutely tore through my team, which I should have respected more because I do love that Pokemon. Um, Basically losing my two defensive pivots immediately because of Arboliva just absolutely destroying was great for him, obviously. Moving forward, I think, or what I could have done different, maybe I just like stay in and like click buttons. Like maybe getting a knockoff on the Arboliva would have been nice. Um, just getting some chip damage, potentially just like sacking the Gliscor, keeping this Blastoise full HP so it could like check the late game Sneasler and things like that. Iron Jugless did do pretty well. Um, but yeah, I mean, GG's to him. Absolutely cooked me in the prep room. That is for sure. So that's all right. We'll be fine. 8 teams still make playoffs. I'm 1-1, pretty dead even. So I should be. I'm not too worried about it. I got a lot of weeks left. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.